All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us here. We'll have tournament MVP Montana Fouts and Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. We'll start with Montana, and we'll have her start with an opening statement. Montana, just kind of talk about general thoughts about the week, winning the tournament at home, kind of what it means to you and the team.
Just winning the tournament at home just means everything, just because of obviously all the adversity that we faced this year. And then I think that that's just brought us closer because everybody that we've lost due to injury is still being the biggest part of the team as they were then. And I just think winning it just proves to us that we can, and nothing's impossible. So I just think that the family atmosphere that we've created and the best fans in the country help us accomplish anything.
All right, we'll start the questions with Brett.
Hey, Montana, congratulations on the win, and obviously congratulations on the tournament MVP. Since you were awarded SEC Pitcher of the Year, you've had 3 starts, 20.2 innings pitched, 13 hits, only given up 4 runs. 3 of them were earned, and you've had 39 strikeouts. Did the kind of piss you off? Did that kind of light a fire under your belt? Kind of speak on what you've done in the last 3 days.
Mary Half's a great pitcher, and they had a great season. And I just think I wouldn't really go with making me mad, but I did want to do this for the team. No other reason, because, it's not about me. It's about us winning. So I think that the awards are great, and I'm really thankful for them. But it's about the end game. So just keeping the end game in mind. And I knew this tournament was big for us, and we all knew that. So I think coming in with that mindset instead of just focusing on that.
Go on to Robert.
Montana, congrats. Last night, Bailey said you had a fire in your eyes the last 2 innings of the game, and tonight that didn't look to change. How are you able to stay locked in the biggest moments and not let them get too big?
I think just trusting my stuff. We've trusted the process so long. That's been our thing this year, just trusting the process and trusting in ourselves and our ability to be here. So I think just doing that, and then the last 6th and 7th inning, just trusting my teammates, because at that point they've seen me a couple times through the lineup. So I think just trusting my spin, trusting my teammate, and trust what got me here.
All right, go ahead, James.
Hey, Montana, congratulations, of course, to you and the team. What does a win like this and a tournament like this do for you guys going forward, as you're going to be more than likely, obviously, hosting a regional and then making your way through the NCAA tournament? What does a tournament win like this against a really good Florida team do for you and the team?
It definitely does a lot, just because they have a great pitching staff and great hitters and a great defense. So I just think Florida, obviously we've played them a couple times. So I think just knowing that and going into it, and we still did a good job today. So I think just improving on that, learning from our mistakes, and just letting that take us forward as kind of like a little momentum.
All right, go ahead, Harrison.
Hey, Montana, like everyone else said, congrats. But what was the mental and physical toll of 3 games in a row and 3 of those performances?
Just the same thing all year. I think it's really easy to give everything that you have to a team that just means so much. I think that everything that we've been through, I think that I can throw 3 games, what's that? So I just think that looking at my teammates, I think in the 6th or 7th inning, Maddie looked at me and she's like, dig deep. And I think that's all I needed to hear, because we've come this far. Why would we stop now?
All right, good. Robert.
Montana, nowadays it's rare for a pitcher to throw 3-4 days in a row, but you did it. And Murphy talks a lot about how in the offseason you kind of took it in your own hands to do the extra work. How good does that feel to see it just come to fruition? How are you able to stay fresh and conditioned?
Well, luckily we have the best strength and conditioning coach and the best programs and the best athletic trainers and the best medical staff to just keep us in check all the time and making sure we're doing everything safely. So I think that helps me a lot. It wasn't just me and putting the work in. They just, made sure that I was doing all the right things. So I think that, and having the coaches, the teammates, I think that we just knew that we had to work really hard this year, because we came close a couple years ago and we needed to do a little bit something more. And I think that we've done that off the field, as far as working hard, but also as a team too, and building our chemistry.
Go ahead, James.
Montana, walk us through the last little bit of the game. Eccles is coming up, Lindemann, of course. Both of them have been phenomenal this entire tournament. Talk about the thought process for you and the last time you faced them, because it obviously was a big moment of the game toward the end. What's your mentality, obviously, other than just, getting them out? But was there anything maybe Coach Murphy said to you before you went out to face them the last time?
Well, I think something that Murph says all the time is just respect them, respect your opponents always. So I think that me respecting them was just giving them everything I had, just because that I knew that they were great hitters, and I didn't want to leave any hope for them. I wanted to get them out in a row, just because I knew that they're a great hitting team, and they can build momentum, and then they can just be as good as just about anybody. So I think that was important to me, just to respect them.
All right, we'll go ahead and give Robert the last question.
Montana, this school year, the University of Alabama has had so much success around all athletics, and you guys just added another championship to that. How does that feel to be able to make your mark also and contribute to that?
I mean, it feels great just to be a part of the university in general, but let alone put something towards that. This is great, and this was really fun, and I think that my teammates deserve it, but I think that we're not done yet. Our dreams are bigger.
All right, we'll wrap things up with Montana. We'll get Murphy in a couple minutes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we got Coach Murphy here. We'll start with the opening statement and then open up for questions after that.
Hey, well, I appreciate everybody being here basically all week. And you guys know this, but when you guys cover a female sport, it makes us relevant. So I appreciate that. It's a big deal for us because obviously this is the SEC championship, and TV and you guys and the fans and everything else. So the more you write about it, the more people are going to know about it. So thank you very much to everybody. If you've done one story or 50, thank you.
All right, start the questions off, Robert.
Coach, throughout the entire weekend, you guys had a great atmosphere inside of Rhodes Stadium. How do you compare that to a regional atmosphere, a super regional atmosphere, even the World Series?
I think it's very similar. I mean, we have a super fan named Emily Pitek Clifford, who is just unbelievable. And she gets people riled up like nobody else. She should be on our payroll, to tell you the truth. But then the fans, we have that banner out in center field that says the greatest fans in college softball. Well, yes, they are, but they're also very knowledgeable. Like the other night, Bailey Hemphill, that was the first curtain call that a player here has ever gotten. And they realized it was a hell of a feat. And just things like that. It doesn't happen at many places, but it does happen here. But the field itself was in awesome condition. The weather was perfect. Great coverage. The whole thing felt like a super regional.
All right, going to Brett.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. You brought it up so many times during the season and just before this tournament. The SEC tournament is the greatest collection of softball talent in the country at one specific time. And this week obviously was no different. Speak on the type of talent and just gameplay throughout this last weekend, especially you guys ultimately ending up winning it all.
Well, I think hopefully you'll see in a couple of weeks when they name All-American teams how great the SEC was this year, because it's going to be tons of kids from SEC schools, I think, on those teams. And, you look at Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee. I mean, there's so many great athletes in this conference. And, if you guys cover SEC sports, you know that. They're good in football, they're good in baseball, they're good in basketball, they're good in softball. And it's like a perfect storm for our sport: weather, facilities, fan base, schools, and then the success. And it becomes like this perfect storm of a sport that's, I think, if not one, two, the top two sports in the SEC.
Go ahead, James.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win, man. I'm taking your advice from last night. I'm actually working on an Alexis Mack story. I wanted to ask you about the crucial play of the suicide squeeze in the first inning. How crucial was that for you guys to really get going? Because I know you wanted to start fast against a really good Florida team. But talk about that play and how that just all developed.
Well, I'll be honest with you. My stomach was turning like crazy when I called it, because you have anxiety as a coach, and my blood pressure probably shot up. But Jenna got the bunt down, and one of the fastest kids on the team is sitting at third. So it was a great opportunity. Jenna handles the bat well. I thought possibly it was going to be a good pitch to bunt. And, all these things have to work. And Jenna got it down. Matt got a good jump. And she beat it. And then the positive was Janice being safe at first. So they went home instead of the first. And it kind of started a big inning for us.
Go ahead, Katie.
Coach, congrats on the win. What did you say to your players prior to the game? What was the mindset that you wanted them to have coming into this championship game?
Well, in big time softball, it's, and you guys heard me say this before, but it's the trio of things that it takes: the starting pitcher, great team defense, and then you got to have a key hit. And, Taylor Clark later on in the game, that was a key hit. But in that first inning, those 3 runs, that was huge too. We had a couple base running things that were good. I think Maddie Morgan got a hit. I don't know if she scored one, but it just seemed like everything was happening at once. And that first inning was key. But the 3 things that I said, pitching, defense, and a key hit, that's going to win you a lot of games if you can go 3 for 3, especially in high level softball, because the margin for error is slim. It's the smallest of margins. And if you screw up, it's probably going to bite you in the butt.
I want to go back to Robert.
Coach, you said before that Montana took it upon herself to work in the off season. Obviously that came to fruition this weekend as she threw back-to-back games. How good is it to see someone who works so hard, all the hard work pay off?
It's awesome. And, it was way back in August and September, and I was sitting in my office in the Coliseum, and I see Montana walk by on the sidewalk towards the weight room, and she was going to see Michelle Diltz, our strength coach, because she wanted to not only throw 70, but she wanted to throw 70 from inning 1 to inning 7. And she wanted to dominate for 7 innings, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7. And she took it upon herself to learn from other pitchers, and she's a huge fan of the game. And she's also pretty media savvy with other ladies that are still pitching today. Monica Abbott, Kat Osterman, Danielle Laurie from Team Canada. And she picks their brains to see, how do you stay in shape? And so Montana is using that knowledge and information to stay in great shape. And I think she can get better. But she came in this morning, and we were sitting as a coaching staff talking about who was going to start. And she looked right at me and she said, I feel better right now than I did yesterday. I did this, this, and this last night. And then she came into the clubhouse this morning about 10 o'clock, met our athletic trainer, did some more stuff. And that's what it takes. And, kudos to her.
Go back to Brett.
Hey, Coach, right before the last out, athletic director Greg Bird was walking down the steps towards your dugout. And I looked at him and fist bumped him. I said, another one, sir. And he said, Murph stays alive. Now, that's now football, basketball, gymnastics, track, swimming, and softball for SEC champions in the 2020-2021 school year. Speak on just what Greg Byrne has done for this school and just the type of just talent that all around this university.
Well, it's amazing, and it's a great fraternity. I heard from so many other head coaches, either last night or this morning or this afternoon, saying good luck, kick butt. It happens all the time. And I try to do the favor to them as well, because obviously we play in the spring, but any fall sport or winter sport, I'm trying to text every coach to keep them, in a positive frame of mind, because it is a difficult job. But to start with, when you start with football that wins a national championship, and you just see all these sports have good seasons, you want to do the same thing. And I absolutely love being a spring sport, so I can learn from the fall sports, volleyball, soccer, cross country. They had a hell of a year. They had the national champion in women's cross country. But you look at football, and then you need to take advantage of that and learn from what they went through, especially this year, with COVID and everything else. I was calling or texting every other coach, like, okay, tell me your secrets. What are you doing? What are you not doing? What do you wish you were doing? And then we just went from there. And everybody knows on this call, it's been a friggin' hard last 14 months. But, this team had grit, resiliency. It was a fun year to coach too.
Go ahead, Drew.
Hey, Coach, the story now that you've won the SEC championship is the last time you guys did this, win the SEC tournament, was 2012, of course, and then we all know what you went on to do. I'm curious, if you're a superstitious guy at all, and thinking back on that team, what are the similarities between 2012 and 21?
I think I have traditions. Let's say that I have traditions that I fully believe in that we've done for 25 years here. I don't know if I'd say I'm superstitious, but there was a young lady in the crowd that was on that team. When I turned around and I saw Jordan Patterson, I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a damn good night," because she was on that field the last time we won it as a player. So I don't know. We'll just see. I think we could still get better in a lot of facets. And this is a hardworking team. And I know that if some of them didn't do what they would hope to do this weekend, the last 3 games, they're going to work on it, because that's been the theme all year long.
All right, got time for 2 more. We'll go to James.
Coach, there were a lot of records tonight that took place. Obviously, Montana, first shutout since 2006, obviously breaking the SEC strikeout record. Bailey hit 61 last night. Are any of these records you just look at and just go, man, that's super impressive? Like, you just sit there as a coach and you're like, I can't even believe she did that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And, so cool to have the young lady who had the record, Kelly Kretschmann. And if you guys don't know her, you need to look her up. She's probably one of the best hitters all time in the sport of softball. She's helping coach Team USA right now, and they're out in San Diego, and they're in this private suite and they're watching the game. And it's a collection of the best softball players in the world. It's Team USA, right? But one of them is also Hayden McClenny, who's on the team. And they're watching Bailey hit her 61st, breaking Kelly's record. And Kretschmann and McClenny are celebrating like they hit it. I mean, they're jumping around, going crazy. And that's been the story of our program from the very beginning. Very selfless kids. They want to do it for the team. They're not in it for their stats or their records. They don't care who's an All-American. They don't care who has the record. They're in it for the wins, being a great teammate. And that was on full display with Kelly Kretschmann's video, because somebody videotaped it. And they sent it to me, and it was one of the coolest things. But those records, we've had so many good pitchers. We had an All-American pitcher for 15 consecutive years. And the name of the game is fast pitch. And if you have a good pitcher, you have an opportunity. And Montana is the next person in a long line of really, really good pitchers. I mean, she could be raising the bar right now for the next one. She's doing that well, and can't wait to see what she does.
All right, we'll give Harrison the last question.
Hey, Coach, the hat looks good on you. You scored at least 1 run in the first inning in 10 of the last 13 games. Would you say Alexis Mack is a catalyst behind that? And if so, just what does she mean at the top of the lineup for the rest of the girls?
I would absolutely say that is true. And just her presence, her speed, she causes anxiety for the defense. She's been taking a couple walks, any way to get on base, because she knows how important her role is. And she doesn't shy away from it. That's what I love about her. Like, she's hitting in front of Bailey. And chances are, if she gets on, it could be a big inning. So she relishes that role. She doesn't shy away from it. I don't think she's nervous about it. She's very good with it. And I got to tell you one thing. This has been like the most fun press conference I've had in a long, long time. And I wish that we could have done this in person, but the questions were freaking awesome. And I appreciate you guys being here again. So let's do this again next weekend.
I'll echo that. Thanks for the coverage, everybody, this week, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see ya.